In 1998, Monica Lewinsky could not step outside her apartment without being pursued by cameras. The media hounded her relentlessly. Every late night, host turned her into a punchline. Every major newspaper splashed her name across its pages. Offers of fortune poured in for her to tell her story, temptations most people could only dream of. One televised interview alone earned her a staggering $1 million. Her book deal was worth $500,000 more. But something unexpected happened. The money vanished almost as quickly as it arrived. Today, her bank account holds a number that does not reflect the level of fame she once commanded. The explanation for this is not what most people think. It is a truth that challenges everything you thought you knew about her. Monica Samil Lewinsky was born on July 23, 1973, in San Francisco. Her father, Bernard Lewinsky, was a successful and wealthy oncologist. His life story carried a legacy of survival. His Jewish family had fled the rise of Nazism in the 1920s, first finding refuge in El Salvador before eventually settling in the United States when Bernard was just 14. Monica's mother, Marcia Lewis, also came from a remarkable background. Her father was a Lithuanian Jew, while her mother had been born in Tianjin, a British-controlled city in China, to Russian Jewish parents. This complex heritage, rooted in displacement, resilience, and reinvention, would echo throughout Monica's own life. Marcia Lewis was not content with a quiet domestic existence. She, too, pursued a form of fame, publishing a book in 1996 about the world-renowned Three Tenors. From the beginning, it was clear that Monica came from a family where celebrity, ambition, and scandal were intertwined. Her childhood unfolded in Beverly Hills, inside a Spanish-style mansion worth $1.6 million in the 1980s. Her father's clinic generated $37,000 every month, over $400,000 annually in today's money. The family lived lavishly, spending around $20,000 a year on vacations, driving Cadillacs and Mercedes-Benzes, and attending the symphony. Even Monica's personal expenses as a teenager were extravagant. She had $720 a month for tennis lessons, $300 for a babysitter, and $100 solely for hair appointments. She attended elite private schools, starting at Sinai Aqaba Academy before moving to the John Thomas Dye School, where her classmates were the children of Hollywood producers and executives. Luxury cars as 16th birthday gifts were the norm in her social circle. Outwardly, it was a dreamlike upbringing, but beneath the surface, cracks were beginning to form. When Monica was 14, her seemingly perfect world shattered. In 1987, her parents' marriage ended in a bitter, drawn-out divorce. Marcia accused Bernard of infidelity, claiming he had purchased gifts for a mistress from high-end stores like Tiffany & Company and Louis Vuitton. The separation was marred by heated arguments and emotional turmoil. Monica remembered hearing her father shout insults like, "You're a moron," and he even imposed a rule that the children were not allowed to speak at the dinner table. The family's therapy expenses soared to $1,800 a month, with Monica's personal sessions costing hundreds more. Years later, in a private recorded conversation, Monica would admit, "I was brought up with lies. I have lied my entire life." The divorce had not only fractured her home, it had created an environment of instability and mistrust that left lasting scars. She learned early that power, deceit, and emotional manipulation often came hand in hand. At school, Monica sought refuge in theater. She joined a close-knit drama group, finding a sense of belonging and purpose on stage. But tragedy struck again when their beloved drama teacher died by suicide. The loss hit her hard, prompting her to transfer from Beverly Hills High School to the more intimate Bel Air Prep, a private school known for accommodating troubled but wealthy students. The tuition was $12,000 a year, and Monica was one of only 7 seniors in her graduating class. She threw herself into choir, art, and drama, eventually becoming class valedictorian. Her yearbook was sprinkled with literary and whimsical quotes from Ezra Pound and Dr. Seuss, hinting at her ambition. Classmates believed she was destined for fame, They just couldn't have guessed the way it would come. When she was 19, Monica began a 5-year affair with her former high school drama teacher, Andy Blyler. He was 40 years old, married, and a father. Monica followed him to Portland, Oregon, when she enrolled at Lewis and Clark College. In a strange twist, Blyler moved his own family there as well. Monica became friends with his wife and even babysat their children, all while maintaining a sexual relationship with him. The arrangement was, by any standard, deeply complicated. Blyler's lawyer would later describe Monica as obsessed with sex and prone to embellishing stories to elevate her own image. Before leaving for Washington, D.C., Monica had reportedly told the Blylers, "I'm going to the White House to get my presidential knee pads." During her time there, she would call Andy as many as 5 times a day. Even while becoming involved with President Clinton, she continued confiding in Blyler, sometimes complaining that Clinton only wanted oral sex. The pattern in her relationships was clear. Monica was drawn to older, powerful men who were already unavailable. At Lewis and Clark, she majored in psychology, a subject that seemed almost fitting given her fascination with human emotions and control. She once dreamed of working for the FBI, later joking, "I did work with the FBI as a federal target." She had a magnetic personality and could strike up a conversation with anyone. Professors described her as warm, friendly, and confident. Yet friends noticed her inability to keep a secret. She openly gossiped and discussed the details of her affair with Blyler without hesitation. The emotional toll of her choices sent her back into therapy. She seemed desperate to understand herself, but remained caught in cycles of risky behavior. Despite her personal turmoil, she graduated in 1995 at the age of 22, making the dean's list. In her final year, she juggled 3 jobs: selling ties at a downtown kiosk, working at a mental health center for her practicum, where she struggled, and interning at a legal aid organization where she compiled data to help reduce prison sentences. She wanted to help people, though she still had not figured out how to help herself. 1 month after graduation, fate took an unexpected turn. Through a powerful family connection, one of her mother's friends, who was a Democratic donor, Monica secured an unpaid internship at the White House. She had no political background or special qualifications, just a fresh psychology degree and the right introduction. She was placed in the office of Leon Panetta, President Clinton's chief of staff. In November 1995, just weeks into her internship, most White House staff were sent home when the federal government shut down. Unpaid interns, however, were asked to stay. This left Monica among the few still working in the West Wing. With the halls quieter, President Clinton began appearing in the chief of staff's office more often. He was 49, she was 22. In those sparse days of the shutdown, she caught his attention. At a small birthday gathering, Monica noticed her underwear straps showing above her pants. When she saw the president glance at them, she deliberately chose not to adjust them. Soon after, he called her into an office. Monica recalled that her heart was pounding. The growing connection did not go unnoticed. Some staff members joked that she was getting more face time with the president than senior aides. Others were uneasy, quietly searching for ways to move her out of the West Wing. But the opportunity came too late. On November 15, 1995, Monica entered the White House at 1:30 p.m., left briefly, then returned at 5:07 p.m. She did not depart until 12:18 a.m. The president's schedule matched hers almost perfectly. That evening, their relationship began, an affair between the most powerful man in the world and a young intern just starting her career. Neither could have predicted how that night would alter the course of their lives and American history forever. Neither reached the 67 needed to remove him from office. Clinton stayed president, but his name would forever carry the mark of impeachment. Then the spotlight turned to Monica. On March 3, 1999, she sat down with Barbara Walters. It wasn't just any interview. It became the most watched news show in TV history. 70 million people tuned in. That night, nearly half of all American TVs were showing Monica Lewinsky. ABC cashed in. Commercial prices shot up by more than 4 times. But people weren't just watching for ads. They wanted answers. Walters didn't hold back. She asked Monica, "Where was your self-respect?" She even asked, "You showed the president your thong underwear. Where did you get the nerve?" Monica didn't flinch. She apologized to Hillary and Chelsea, said she didn't expect forgiveness, but hoped they knew she was sorry. Monica made about $1 million just from the international rights to that interview. But she wasn't done telling her story. That same month, she released a book. She worked with Andrew Morton, the same man who wrote Princess Diana's biography. Their book was called Monica's Story, and it quickly hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. Monica earned around $500,000 from the deal. The book went deeper than the Starr report. It revealed private details like how Monica once got pregnant during a break in her relationship with Clinton, had an abortion, and ended up in therapy. She also attacked Starr's tactics. Morton wrote that Starr didn't just investigate, he defiled and molested her emotionally. Monica agreed. She also supported Hillary Clinton's claim of a vast right-wing conspiracy. Monica Lewinsky didn't just survive one of the most public scandals in American history. She fought to take her life back piece by piece in ways no one saw coming. In early 2000, a $1 million deal with Jenny Craig seemed like her big break. All she had to do was lose 40 pounds in 6 months. The company said she represented the modern woman, busy, stressed, and struggling with her weight. They kicked off a massive $7.2 million ad campaign. But the backlash came fast. Some Jenny Craig franchises refused to air the ads. By February, they pulled the entire campaign. By April, it was over. Monica got just $300,000. That was 70% less than promised. Once again, her name had opened a door and slammed it shut just as quickly. But Monica didn't stop. Later that same year, in September 1999, she launched her own business, a handbag line called The Real Monica Incorporated. It wasn't some lazy celebrity cash grab. She actually designed the bags herself. She traveled to Louisiana to oversee production. Her reversible boho-style totes landed in top stores. Henri Bendel in New York, Fred Siegel in California, and even across in London. Fashion reporters started focusing on her designs, not her past. One publicist even said she was finally being seen as a real designer. For a moment, it seemed like she had broken through, but the business faded. The shadow of her scandal was hard to shake. Then came one of her boldest moves yet, reality television. In 2003, she hosted Mr. Personality, a dating show on Fox with a bizarre twist. The men wore full-face masks the entire time. Fox gambled that Monica would draw in viewers, and it worked at first. The show premiered with strong ratings. Critics said she had finally found her lane, but the backlash returned. Viewers protested her cashing in on her past. Ratings dropped fast. The finale was cut down from 2 hours to 1. The show lasted just 5 episodes. Still, Monica had shown she could hold her own on screen. Between 2000 and 2003, she appeared on TV around the world. She showed up on The Tom Green Show, where she and the host searched for fabric in his parents' home. On a UK show called Monica's Postcards, she reported on American culture. She popped up in Sweden on High Chaparral and chatted with Graham Norton in the UK. She went on The View and Jimmy Kimmel Live in the US. These appearances were her way of proving she was more than a scandal. But the flood of interviews